Alrighty, and welcome to On the Bench with Big Jim. It is Monday, April 29th, and amazing how April has come and gone already. So, welcome, Ben. Good to see you here this morning. How was your weekend? And despite being windy and cold, I was able to get a lot done and had an enjoyable weekend. Good morning, Zach. Good to see you here. Congratulations on your guys' success out in Las Vegas this last weekend. Good to see all the results. I was able to watch a little bit on Flow Wrestling, and what a great service that is to be able to watch whatever match you want to watch. It's kind of cool. Um, uh, interesting things that happened this weekend. Seattle Seahawks made some interesting changes or some trades, made some interesting choices. Obviously, these guys know better than I do what they're doing. Hey, good morning, Doin. Good to see you here. We'll be talking with you in just a second. I wanted to say happy birthday to Kirk Taylor and to Dan. Wishing you guys Westless. Happy birthday to you guys. Hope you guys have a great birthday. Um, we're going to go and get our show started. We'll be Brian Doin Dahlke, who is an athletic trainer with the PBR Velocity Tour. And good morning, Doin. How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Welcome to On the Bench with Big Jim. And I see you have your golf, your tribute to the golf world. Yeah, they're behind you.
Places I
Um,
play?
all the way from Fort Smith, Arkansas. How is it back there today?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
75. Nice.
That's great. We have what's kind of cool this morning here in the Northwest, but beautiful blue skies that I'm looking out of my window right now. So I'm happy about beautiful blue skies today. Um, hey, thanks for taking this time to be on the show with us. Um, First off, tell everybody about how you and I ended up meeting a long time ago.
Oh, goodness.
Do you remember?
Yeah, oh, gosh. It was back in the 80s, or late 80s, early
It was the
90s.
'90s. It was
Yeah,
the
okay.
'90s. Yeah,
Uh,
I got there in '90.
okay. So you were an athletic trainer there with a
Hmm.
local physician, and I was an athletic trainer at D2 school, Arkansas Tech University. You came in the state and, like you do everywhere, flexed your muscles. That's why everybody calls you Big Jim. And became the president of our state association. And I was real involved in the state association, and we became good friends. So,
In our visit last night, when you reminded me that I was the president, I was like,
yeah,
wait a second. Oh, that's right. I was.
yeah,
I was. I think all of us, the original crew of 25 or how many ever it was when we first got going, um, we were all dedicated to advancing the profession, and um, uh, I think that was normal. And all of us, if I remember, everyone that was involved in stepping up and getting the licensure and doing all the stuff that we did was something that was needed, not only to give our profession the respect that we believe it deserved, but yeah, I do I do remember now that I was the president of the association for a while there,
yeah.
and I hope I helped, but
Oh gosh,
because
yeah. Set
be,
great groundwork.
but
groundwork was,
because what you guys have now, what were you saying? How many athletic trainers are in the state now?
well, when our first meeting of our state association, when we started, we had 7 athletic trainers at that meeting. We had our meeting just this last weekend, and we've got about 260, 265 in the state now. So it's
really
grown.
really impressive.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really happy. Not only am I happy that the the schools and the profession is highly respected, and there are more of us, more of you guys. But it's a benefit for the athletes to have
Yeah.
more access to more sports medicine professionals. So that's a really cool thing.
All right. It's all about taking care of the kids,
Yeah, and totally. And was it last month? Was it athletic training month? Or was it March?
Yeah. March. March.
March
Mm-hmm.
was. And I just saw this morning while I was looking at Facebook was the ATs or healthcare, and that's a big promotion to get the awareness out there. And it's what's interesting is that we're still having to promote it or push it or convince school administrators or recreational people involved in recreational activities that having an athletic trainer at your event is a smart choice.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's so sad when you say athletic trainer. Some people think that we are personal trainers in the gym, teaching people how to lift and, or doing that type of stuff. Or, it's been around for 60 years and it's still not known, but we're getting more and more, military's recognizing, there's people at Circus du Soleil, in Vegas that's doing that type of stuff, and ballet companies. And that was the push this year was the emerging settings, kind of also what I do with the PBR, is a kind of a niche type thing.
Now, how long has the PBR been having athletic trainers travel with them on their tour?
The UTB, which is the Unleash the Beast tour, the big tour that you see on CBS Sports and that type of stuff, they have had athletic trainers since the inception, 25 years. They had their 25-year anniversary last year. The tour I do is the Velocity Tour, which is on the UTB is the top 35 guys in the world. The Velocity Tour is the 36 and down to 80. But there's so much crossover. If you watch a lot of bull riding, of course, there's going to be injuries when you've got a 1,800-pound athlete going against a 140-pound athlete, and getting slammed. So, so when those top guys get injured, they come down and take, the top guys of ours and move them up. And so there's all this moving in between the tours. So just in last year, the PBR felt it was important to keep the continuity of care from the small, from the Velocity Tour, the AAA, up to, the big tour. So we started that just this past year, and Bangor, Maine was the first one last year, and we just went to Bangor 3 weeks ago. So it's been right at a year. So
and you've been doing it this whole time?
I was doing. They first brought on one guy. His name's Doug Ollie, a best friend of mine down at Nacogdoches, Texas. We've done rodeo together for a long time with the Justin Sports Medicine program, and so they brought him on first. And after the first event, he had a fractured neck, pneumothorax, hemothorax, all in one night, and all those turned out real well. And figured out he's pretty busy, and so that was discussion of getting a second guy. So they have a lot of double-up events, so I was doing those double-up events, and so finally the PBR, which is owned by a huge conglomerate, a subsidiary of IMG Management, so they've got quite a bit. It's a big company. Finally approved the budget and started. So now we've got two at each event at all time. Me and him go everywhere. So
Because when you're by yourself, from what I remember, working with Tom on a couple events, um, if you're by yourself and somebody gets hurt, then the arena is vacant of
correct,
someone being there for something else to happen when
correct,
you're taking care of the first injury. So um, it's a good thing that you have two guys at the event so that uh, the event can continue with
correct.
protection and somebody eyes on watching what's going on.
Right.
Um, now, I want to continue talking more about the PBR, but I want to go back a little bit. When you and First and I met back in the 90s, you were working at Arkansas Tech. Uh, do you miss being a college athletic trainer? Or when you left and you went to Fort Smith and started working for a doctor, if I remember right.
Correct. And
Um,
covering high schools. Hmm.
yeah, how was that difficult? Because you went to school at Arkansas Tech, if I remember, or
Undergrad, undergrad,
yeah.
I was there. There was no athletic trainer there at the time, so I kind of, as a student, was found out that I was pretty good at that. I was going to go to veterinarian school, um, but found out I was pretty good at that, and then went up to the University of Arkansas as a GA and an assistant up there for a couple of years, and then came back to Arkansas Tech. So I was there a total of about 12 years. I like the college setting. It's a lot of work. It's a young man's game now, as you see. I
Uh-huh.
mean,
Yeah.
gosh, those guys put in some hours, but I enjoyed the high school kids. I, yeah, but it was. I had a great career, and still do get to do a lot of good things. All my best friends, like you, all the way up there, is we keep in touch, and it's given me everything that I've ever needed or wanted. I've been real
Oh,
happy with the career. Yeah.
that's good. Well, I the last athletic training I was able to do is travel with USA Wrestling, and then just here locally with my kids and the teams that I was involved with, and it uh, the fact that I was able to see my kids participate in sports, all of them, all four of them, was was a great thing. And when my boys were really young, when they were small, and I was working at Jacksonville High School, I remember them coming to games with me, and
Mhm.
that was fun. But man, like you said, it is a young man's game or a young woman's game because of the time that you
Mhm.
put into it. Um, now, the reason why you still follow Arkansas Tech? Do you
Yeah, yeah,
follow?
yeah.
They have a quarterback now. His name's Qualls, and he is the son of a really good friend of mine, Hal Qualls, Hal and Jeannie Qualls. They were coaching at Watson Chapel, and then moved up to
Right,
Northwest
right.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you probably know the Qualls kid. They won a state championship in football.
Hmm.
Uh, not Fayetteville, but the other big one up there.
Bentonville.
Um, yes. And
Hmm.
anyway, uh, but Qualls is a quarterback there at Arkansas Tech.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had if you knew of that family. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Jeannie played for us at Tech when I was there.
oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and she's battled
Cancer.
cancer, and
Right.
she's doing good, and I'm glad that it's a small world it is.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
your cousin, I worked with your cousin down in Pine Bluff at his physical therapy center, Professional Rehabilitation Associates. What a
Right.
long name for a business, but yeah, I covered Watson Chapel and the Pine Bluff area for him, um, and you still work with him
Right. Right.
in a business that does FCEs
Right.
for workman's comp patients.
Hmm. Right.
It's a small world. So, and then a good friend of both of ours that works for you now, Chuck Davidson.
Yep.
Uh,
Right.
it's just it's crazy the association that we have. How you know from going from 7, and when I came into to down into Little Rock, there was probably 20, 25 at the
Mm-hmm.
time. Now to 260. Tell us a little bit about the evolution of. I mean, that's over, I don't know, 20 years,
Right.
30. Wow, that's about 30 years now.
Yeah.
Close to 30 years. Tell us a little bit about the evolution of it all.
Well, after we got licensure, and it all started back, with you, and gosh, that was a long process. Anybody that's went through, the political, getting bills passed and that kind of stuff. It's a long process. But after we got that, some of the local colleges started programs, and our push is to get one in every high school. That should be everybody's push, because everybody deserves having an athletic trainer to protect their kids. So it's just gradually grown. We've had enough people, um, had enough people to gradually hire. And like I said, we went to the state education department, and they have actually started a curriculum. So a lot of high schools are hiring, which is
Oh,
great,
cool.
and having a sports medicine 1 and sports medicine 2 in their high school programs, which in turn lets an athletic trainer teach and get a teaching salary plus a stipend. So there's, Cabot High School has 4 or 5 certified athletic trainers on their campus every day. So that's been
that's remarkable.
good progression. So
that because when I worked at Jacksonville, Cabot didn't have anything, and because they were just a little bit north of Jacksonville,
right.
And I was the first one at Jacksonville. I covered Pulaski Academy the first year I was there, and Randy was at North Little Rock, and then I went up to Jacksonville just because the size of their community, and it was close to where I lived. But to hear that Cabot High School now has 5 full-time certified athletic trainers that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
That's just it's remarkable, and I'm happy that these kids now have, and their parents, they benefit from it as well. To know that, because here in Moses Lake, watching my kids play, we had a certified athletic trainer on staff, so it's a comfort to know that there's someone down there on the field, or wherever, there to take care of your kids while they're playing. That's a super thing. I'm so excited that that's happening. And obviously, it's probably just going to continue to grow. More schools are going to see the need, and especially with the academic part of it.
Right.
I know, because I know our athletic trainer here teaches an athletic training class, and she has they actually have state competitions, high schools around the state, and they just went to it a couple weeks ago. And Wenatchee, which is about 70 miles from here, Dale Blair, the head athletic trainer there, they ended up taking second in the competition.
Oh, wow.
So he has a really good program, and it's a cool thing. So it's I'm glad to see that it's going in that direction. So now, you told me yesterday while we were visiting, you've worked with the Justin Sports Medicine since 1987. Is that
correct?
That's a long time. That's before I got back there to Arkansas.
Right. Me and Tom Cantwell. The doctor we worked for, J. Pat Evans, started Justin Sports Medicine program. Him and Walt Garrett, back in the day when Walt was playing for the Dallas Cowboys, and J. Pat was the team physician for the Cowboys, and Walt would rodeo during the off season. So he came in to J. Pat and said, "Why can't we have an athletic trainer like the Cowboys do for the Cowboys?" And so he got thinking and went to Justin Boot Company, and that's how that all started. And it's grown now to so a doctor that me and Tom worked with came back to Fort Smith, and he had done a residency under JPAT and was good friends with him, and so we got involved with that locally. And then it's grown. I'm a program manager. There's 10 program managers with Justin Sports Medicine across the United States, and we do, golly, last year 125 to 130 rodeos throughout the United States. So the 10
And
of us.
you help manage that, or are you just one of the athletic trainers that goes to the event?
Yeah, I'm one of the 10 program managers. We go into a local event and to one of the rodeos and get local help. I saw a girl pop up there that's watching that is one of my local help in Sikeston, Missouri.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Welcome, young lady. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what we do: get local help, get local physicians to help us cover the rodeo. But that's kind of how Justin works. So.
Now, if I remember right, Tom had that. He had a motorhome that St. Vincent's ended up converting into our sports medicine camper. But he had a fifth wheel trailer for the Arkansas Rodeo Association sports medicine program.
Right.
How now, and that they were involved with the Justin Boot sports medicine program as well. Are those kind of trailers still traveling around to different events?
Justin has 3 trailers. One's kind of in the Midwest, and guy in California, in Arizona, has one there, and another guy in Colorado. So that kind of hits the West Coast. The one here, that's stationed down in San Antonio, actually got dropped off here in Fort Smith last night because our Fort Smith Old Fort Days rodeo starts next month, in May. So, but there's three of those. Yeah, well, yeah. So there's 3 of those, but we do a lot of bag rodeos. I do a lot of bag rodeos. In other words, ship my bags in, and they have a room, or if it's an indoor arena, so they have a athletic training or sports medicine room for those. So.
Right, usually it's just an office space that they've converted.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. With a table maybe.
Yeah, I've covered some rodeos, and not as much, not just infinitely less than you have, but yeah, I know. And the Cowboys, it doesn't bother them as long as they know that they have someone there helping them. It's a good thing, most of them are used to doing it all by themselves.
Most of them can tape better than I can, and they tape themselves. I mean, you sit down and watch them tape a knee, and it's, my goodness, that's great, But that was kind of the philosophy. Well, there's 600, PRCA rodeos across the United States, and Justin would be at 125 of them. So, that was JPAT's vision, was, that we could teach them stuff. They're nomadic people. They ride for 8 seconds, get in a truck and drive for 8 hours to go to another rodeo the next day.
To the next one.
So, yeah, and so, that's the whole thing, is teach them some stuff that they can do to help themselves get down the road. It's the only professional sport that the athletes pay an entry fee instead of get paid. And if they don't ride, they don't make any money. So, they're real appreciative of everything we do. They listen to us, and if they see a friendly face that they know and that we know what we're doing, it's just a lot better, especially when they get injured. So.
Yeah. And you were telling me you were in Des Moines, Iowa this last weekend, and this was the last event until the summer break. And then you guys will come back for a couple more. During this period, when the PBR is off, you'll be covering some rodeos.
Correct.
Around the area where you can get to. Now, you've been doing this for quite some time, and you've been able to do this outside of your other jobs
real job.
That you've had.
Real jobs.
the real jobs that you've had.
Right.
but it's also been associated with the other jobs that you've been doing.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the other work that you've been able to do over the years.
Well, when I left full-time practice, and me and Rick, the guy you work for, started a FTC, functional testing centers, which does FCEs. I was doing that, um, and the place I always had bought my supplies, Alert Services, came to me, and they were losing their salesmen in the area, and we were traveling throughout Arkansas, doing these FCEs. And I knew all the athletic trainers. My dad was a coach for 33 years in the state, so I knew a lot of coaches and athletic trainers. So they asked me if I wanted to sell for them. So I did that up until Wednesday of last week. So that about 14 years there, and then same kind of thing fell in my lap with DonJoy, bracing and support, um, knee braces that you see on all college athletes and that type of stuff. And so I've done DonJoy for about 12 years, all those kind of together, plus rodeo, and so just last Wednesday, I resigned from DonJoy and from Alert Services, and now want to work with Henry Schein, which is a big conglomerate, kind of a sports medicine also, you know. So, I'll,
And so you're going to be traveling again, going around visiting and the athletic trainers that you know,
right,
and seeing what needs they have as far as tape
right,
and supplies and stuff. Well, that'll be good.
yeah,
You'll enjoy that, be able to go down and visit with King Cole
right.
and
Go
and
back and see my friends. So,
yes,
yeah,
that's a really cool thing. And you'll still be able to continue to do your PBR
right,
events and that kind of stuff.
right,
Um, this last weekend, you guys had the Arkansas Athletic Trainers Association's annual meeting, uh, and you actually went up there before you headed up to Des Moines,
right,
Iowa.
right.
Tell us a little bit. I mean, obviously, with the increase of athletic trainers, tell us a little bit about how that meeting was this last weekend.
Oh gosh, it was really well attended. We always have well attended meetings, have a lot of fun. You're an old athletic trainer. I mean, athletic trainers are a tight knit group because we do spend so much time away from our families, you know, taking care of other people's kids. So when we get together, we like to have fun, but the education process, you know, I mean, we have to keep CEUs, continuing education units, and now with the BOC makes you do EBPs, evidence based um, practice, different
Oh.
CEUs that so you know, everybody's there trying to get those caught up and ready to turn in. So
And what does that require? Hands-on type of
it's
researching
just
stuff?
you know, like our first meetings that you set up there at St. Vincent's. You know, it was a doc would come in and talk about, you know, this or that, what I did here or what I did there, you know, but the BOC or their NETA is went to more evidence based, you know, more research into why do you do that? You know, yeah, we know it works, or we've done it that way for, you know,
Oh,
hundreds of years, but, you know, let's get to best practices and evidence based, you know, the stuff. And
okay.
so that's kind of where they're going with the CEUs. So
That's 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 pretty cool.
yeah, it's good.
That's awesome that they
Yeah.
have that.
So
Um, and so you did a lot of that, and then you headed down the road and on your way to Des Moines, Iowa for the rodeo. Um,
right.
when you go to these events, give us an idea of what your day is like. How early do you have to show up, and how early do the cowboys show up? Because it's just bull riding.
Correct.
It's not all the other events. It's just bull riding when you do the PBR.
Correct.
So kind of give us an idea of what the day in the life of an athletic trainer is that works with the PBR.
Like this weekend to Des Moines, you know, got on a plane at 6:30 a.m. and got there about 10:30. Went and set up the training room. Of course, with the PBR, they own everything that you see. All the still in there, all the chutes. They've got a guy that does nothing but dirt. that works for them. So he goes and finds the dirt and lays the dirt down and puts the steel up. And I mean, it's a production. I mean, it's all the sound equipment, the video boards, all that stuff is set up. So all of our supplies are on that truck. So we don't have to carry supplies. Um, everything is shipped in with us, for us on their trucks. So we just show up, set up our training room, went and got a bite to eat, and I was tired because I'd been to AATA, and so we went back to the room, hotel room, took a nap real quick, and we get out to the arena at least 3 hours before, maybe earlier if we had somebody concussed the week before, because we'll have to approve them, run them through a scat and neurological exam, and because with the PBR we can hold them from competition. Final word, is ours and Dr.
Those are
Candy.
you guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now on the PRCA side, we can't. They're considered contract labor, and if we can advise them, and most kids listen to us, but it's still their decision. But with the PBR, we can make that final decision. So, like I said, if we had a concussion last week, then they have to clear our testing protocol before, so we get there a little earlier for that, and then we start doing a lot of, stretching, a lot of hip and pelvis stretches, and a lot of low back problems, and start taping all the way up to 7 o'clock, time to go, and then it's a MASH unit from there. So
and so you're just waiting around. And in talking with other athletic trainers, I always said I can go to work and hope I don't have to do anything, and it's a good
Correct.
thing. And
yes.
So you're just waiting around hoping nobody gets hurt. But like you said earlier, an 1,800-pound athlete against a 140-pound athlete looks like there might be a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Especially when they put a strap up into the groin of that 1,800-pound athlete, kind of tick them off.
That really does not. That doesn't hurt the animal. That's there to get them to buck.
I know.
To kick their feet out, instead of bunch up. So, yeah, I mean, let's don't get the animals' right activists going here.
I'm not saying it for that, but
yeah.
You get those animals. You want it because you want them to buck. Because the better they buck, the more you score.
Correct.
So, and the Cowboys don't mind. They understand. Have you ever been on a? You've never been on a back before.
I wrote back when I was young. I team roped back years ago. So, shoot, no, I'm not that stupid. I'm too fat and old for
that. to get on a bull.
That's right.
It's an amazing thing. But anyway, but the adrenaline rush. These guys have you had any guys tell you about the adrenaline rush that they get from doing it, or explain to you why? Because like you just mentioned, you've had to advise some guys that maybe they shouldn't ride this weekend.
Right. No, it is. I mean, and we'll watch a kid, and that's what's so important of having a consistent, person that knows these guys and sees them in the locker room and around behind the scenes to know really how they act, because if they do get a little ding, a little concussion or something like that, and their demeanor changes, then we can say,
totally.
That maybe something's going on there, that and the most dangerous are not those big wrecks, it's those little tings that you really don't see or don't, but that's when usually something happens. The big wrecks look scary and all that kind of stuff, but majority of times people walk away with that. But it's just those little continual dings that adds up over time, and all those guys are a little squirrely anyway, but we can tell if they're even more squirrely than they're supposed to be, So
yeah. Well, speaking of those big wrecks, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to share a story of a 4th of July rodeo in a little town west of Arkadelphia, in the middle of nowhere. And I don't, you probably know better than I do. I can't remember the name of the town, but Tom Cantwell and I went down there in his trailer,
Mhm.
and they had 4 nights of rodeo, and each night this bull, the same bull was the first bull out, and the way he bucked, he would pull the bull rider, down onto his horns.
Mhm.
And the first 3 nights in a row, we had orbital blowouts because
Yeah.
the cowboy came down on his horns, and we would end up have that one ride. Then we'd end up having to pull that guy into the trailer and then have him hauled to an emergency room 2 hours away. I don't remember the name of the town, but it was a little 4th of July weekend rodeo. We did 4 nights in a row, and one of those nights was the 4th of July, and it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
And we camped, my kids and I and my wife, we camped. But what a crazy, that was the craziest rodeo that I ever went and worked with Tom at. And
Mhm.
those kind of those kind of things. The thing about it was like it happened the first night, and then when it happened the second night, I was like, wait a second. And then it happened the third night, and I was like, no, this is crazy. What are we doing here? And then the fourth night, I don't think they bucked him
Probably.
because he had hurt so many guys. But just it's insane. But
Yeah.
those guys, that's the kind of bull they want because they know they're going
Yeah.
to score well because they
Right.
know those kind of bulls are going to go well. Um,
And
it's
that was
an
before
amazing sport.
helmets. That was before the helmets
That
and
was.
the vests, and Lane Frost got killed, and that was the advent of the uh,
Hmm.
protective vest. Uh, but and the helmets, people think came about with concussions, but the helmet's not going to stop concussion.
Oh no.
It's saved a lot of facial fractures, like you were talking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
And it would have been those would have been very welcome back in the
Hmm.
day
Yeah.
because in the mid-90s, this was in the mid-90s. Um, and that was nuts. But
Right.
those guys, they love it, and the people, the culture of rodeo
Okay.
is uh, the good, hardworking people that enjoy that kind of stuff, and they're all a family. And
Yes.
the cowboys that I got to know down in Arkansas that I did rehab on, like you're saying, they would ride, they'd get in their truck and drive to the next one and
Hmm.
try to hit 3 or 4 over the weekend. And if they didn't win anything, they were out travel and
Hmm.
entry fee, and so they were trying to stay healthy to be able to ride and try to live a dream. So
Yeah.
it's a
No,
it's
the
an
Western lifestyle is the reason I'm in it. I mean, I always say I can be traveling across the United States, and if my truck breaks down or whatever, I've always got somebody, and they'll drop whatever they're doing, and come help you. That's just, like I said, it's a family. They're good people. Yes sir, no sir.
yeah,
Appreciate everything. Stand for the flag and pray before every event, and it's America.
it's
You know,
it's awesome.
yeah.
Well, that's a cool thing. Um, so to change gears again, what you said when you were at Arkansas Tech, you were a student and you started doing the athletic training there. What was the initial thing that got you to start doing that?
Um, just out of necessity. I was a manager with the basketball team, and like I said, I was a pre-vet, and so if somebody had a sprained ankle and came off the side of the court, I was the manager, so I got Arnheim's book, the old Arnheim's book, Principles of Athletic Training, and started looking, and hey, okay, let's try this, and just found out I had a knack for it. And I didn't know there's
But
even a
a
profession of athletic
professor,
training. Yeah, until
because
we got a
being
coach
the
from Texas.
manager,
So
so this was kind of you didn't have a mentor or anything. You just got this
no,
out of a book. Oh,
all right, yeah,
that's a, that's
that's
a that's a terrific story. I didn't know
that's
that.
yeah, that's the way it was back in those days.
That's what it was.
A
That,
football coach, came to Tech from Lamar, uh, University of Lamar down in Texas, and came back and stepped on campus. Go, who's the athletic trainer?
Who's that?
And so they said the guy over in basketball, and he called me and told me about the profession, and got me on the phone with a couple athletic trainers, and that's what I want to do. So
That's how
it
you
all
got
started.
started.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
terrific.
And Tom Cantwell and that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So I kind of preset you this up yesterday. Do you have a special memory of your work as an athletic trainer that kind of brings you joy?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, we've all had hundreds of ACL tears and that type of stuff, which we're there, and when it happens, evaluate it and go through those emotions with the kid, and send them get reconstructive surgery, and then get them back and do rehab with them every day for 6 to 7 months, and see them back on the field. You said that, and then I was thinking right away, just this last weekend, Lindamar Lima from Brazil, one of the bull riders, 2 weeks ago at Wichita, Kansas, he got concussed. He was actually kind of got knocked out a little bit right up against the outshoot of where I was standing. Bull was still in the arena, so he was fixing to come towards him, and so I just opened the gate, grabbed his vest, and pulled him out, and he gradually woke up, but he made the short go, so I had to hold him because he had been concussed, so he didn't ride in that short go. This weekend, we do the test on him. He gets cleared. He rides, and rides real well. Scores 86, I think, 86 and a half, something like that. And he comes out the gate and just gives me a big hug. You know what I mean? So, there's such a language barrier with those guys that from Brazil. They speak Portuguese. So I've got an app on my phone that, going, or get a translator. And so, but these guys, even though there's that language barrier, he comes and, appreciate what I did, even though I had to hold him the week before from, so that's the type of stuff. That's what it's about, so.
That makes it all worth those long
Right.
hours, and
yeah.
And that's a great story. When you have that language barrier, but it crosses over to where you get a hug from it.
Right.
I've had that experience over in Europe on some wrestling trips, where I've helped some other countries wrestlers, and no, it's a cool feeling. Now, I wanted to give some shout outs to a couple people. The Southwest Athletic Trainers Association, which the Arkansas Athletic Trainers Association is a part of, they are honoring a good friend of ours, Ken Cole, and inducting him into their Hall of Fame this year. Tell us a little bit about Ken.
Oh, gosh. Me and Ken have known each other about as long as me and you, maybe earlier. I think he came into the state.
Yeah, he was there before I was.
In 80, I don't not for sure.
It's been a long time.
88, 89, something like that. So he went to Southern Arkansas University, the other NAIA D2 school, and it was just me and him. We're the only two athletic trainers in that conference. That's how there was no other schools that had athletic trainers, so we got to be real tight. And we'd have student workshops during the summer, one year at Tech, 1 year at SAU. I mean, we've just been best friends. So, I'm so proud of him. He's been president of our state association. He was the SWATA rep from Arkansas after I left off the board of SWATA. And so, I mean, he's always, all of us have the same philosophy. It's give back to the profession of what it's given you. And so Ken's always been, been a great friend and been a big advocate for athletic training, and sent a lot of kids out through his program that are athletic trainers all over the United States now. He's done a really good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then another friend of ours, excuse me, Miss Kathy Burrow. She was actually following Randy Harriman around. She was a teacher at North Little Rock High School, and she's been an athletic trainer. She was inducted to the AATA Hall of Fame and given a recognition of 25 years of service to the profession. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Kathy.
Oh, again, Kathy kind of started late in her career. You know, she was teaching and found this, that she loved kids and loved, you know, the medical side of the athletics. And so she started and again, been down there around Central Arkansas for quite a while. And, you know, I was glad to see her come into our, you know, Hall of Fame this past weekend.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, a good friend of mine just popped in, Tom Erickson, who's the head wrestling coach up at Lyon College in Batesville.
Oh yeah,
and he's watching right now. So Tom and I wrestled in college, and well, I tried to wrestle.
Hard now. How he got to wrestle. He got all the way over here from Lyon. He said Lions. Huh?
Well, he was coaching at Purdue, and and then Lyon approached it because wrestling's big in Arkansas now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Arkansas has more college wrestling than Washington does, which I'm excited about. I feel bad that it wasn't that way back when I lived there, but it's cool that Arkansas has high school and college wrestling.
It's the one guy in the state loved it and got it started donating mats to high schools, and finally got it in as a high school sport. You know, I went out into Oklahoma when my last part, and we had some really good wrestling. I love wrestling. I mean, it's the best sport, you know, all around. Kind of like bull riding. You know, it's man against man, and it's strength and agility, and you know, conditioning, and it's makes you a better athlete all the way around.
I can't argue any of those points, though. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in the benefits of being a wrestler. Yeah. Let me think. I'm trying to look at all my.
We could go on for hours.
Oh, we could. And so you're kind of this weekend. What do you got planned since you don't have a PBR event?
Boy, I'm going to stay home, mow the yard. You know, set at the fire pit. I've been on the road, you know, there's 30-something dates with the PBR, and so when I am home, my kids are older, and one's in Virginia as an attorney, and the other one's here in town that teaches. So it's just me and my wife finally at home, and so we'll just have some fun. So
enjoy the weekend.
Right.
Hey, Dawn, this has been awesome. I really appreciate this time you've given to us to be on the bench with Big Jim and to share your story. I want to wish you the best of luck with your new profession of selling the Henry's shod stuff. And if there's anything I can do for you, you certainly let me know. Okay.
Shoot, I've enjoyed it. Stay in touch, brother.
Oh man, I will certainly do that.
All right.
Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you. You take care, okay?
All right, bud. Thanks.
All right. See you, Doin.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Oh, man, Doin Dahlke. What a great guy. And that was a great visit. I appreciate you guys being here with us for that. I want to thank my sponsors, Jay's Teriyaki Grill, Thesis Merchant Solutions, Frederick's Jewelry, and Boost Mobile for helping us bring this visit on the bench with Big Jim and Doin Dahlke, my good friend Doin Dahlke. And I posted each of their, and I'm gonna do their commercials real quick. Jay's Teriyaki Grill is delicious rice, noodles, fantastic teriyaki chicken, beef or pork, and crazy huge portions, making this the best bang for your buck in the area. And their egg rolls are to die for. Honestly, folks, Jay's Teriyaki Grill's egg rolls are to die for. You can't go wrong by stopping at Jay's Teriyaki Grill for lunch or dinner, whether you eat it in the restaurant or pre-order it by calling 764-5155 or going to the Chow Now app and ordering it online. You can take it home, you can take it back to work, it travels well, and they also cater parties as well. So go try it for yourself on the corner of Alder and Broadway at 123 East Broadway Avenue. Again, their number is 764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki Grill, and tell them Big Jim sent you. In the post, you can also find their mobile app, so you can download that to your cell phone or your smartphone or your iPad and order it through them. Our next sponsor is Thesis Merchant Solutions. They offer everything you want from a payment processing company. Free equipment, the lowest processing cost, and local customer service. That's yours truly. If you're looking to improve your bottom line, let's look where we can save you some money of your hard-earned money. We'll check your processing statement and see what extra fees you're getting charged. We'll customize your processing costs and provide you with the best free equipment and local customer service. Thesis Merchant Solutions wants to partner with you to make your business more successful. Give me a call at 750-5676, and we'll get you a free analysis. And you can check us out online at www.tsys.com. Our next sponsor is Frederick's Jewelry. At Frederick's Jewelry, you'll find a special something for your loved one. They provide custom designed jewelry and expert jewelry repair. Not only do they sell and repair jewelry, they also have beautiful fine gifts, from glassware vases, vials, ceramic sculptures, to gold and silver watches, necklaces, and rings. With over 60 years in the business, they are the ones you can trust for jewelry, fine gifts, or jewelry and watch repair. Serving Moses Lake since 1953. Frederick's Jewelry is at 208 West 3rd Avenue. Call them at 765-6331. You can also find them out on Facebook at Frederick's Jewelry ML. And they also have a website that you can look at, fredericksjewelry.multiscreensite.com and /gallery. And you can see all their work. It's really, Nick has some really awesome jewelry that he puts together. Boost Mobile is my last sponsor, where you can get four lines of unlimited gigs when you switch to Boost Mobile. You can check it in store or online. Their address is 301 East Broadway, Suite C, there in Moses Lake, or call them at 765-4298. Check them out at boostmobile.com. And go see the great people at Boost Mobile. And their store hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Sunday, they're open noon to 5. And if you are having trouble with your cell phone, go see Maria and her folks down at Boost Mobile, and they'll get you taken care of and get you some good equipment on a great cell phone line. I want to thank all of them for being a part of the show. I want to thank you all. I had a fun visit with my good friend Doin Dahlke. I moved back home 20 years ago. And good people back there in Arkansas. Can't say I miss the weather, but I do have some friends that I miss from back there. I hope you all had a fun day. I had a fun day. We will see you all on Wednesday, and hope you have it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. So get out there and have fun and be nice to somebody. There's a lot that we can do to help others along the way. Show somebody some love and do something nice for somebody today. Take care, everybody, and we will see you all on Wednesday. Take care. Bye.